Our next callers are Jack and Mary Carroll. Welcome to the show. They're from Oklahoma. And so you have been on a Retrouvaille weekend. So tell us how this worked, how you knew that you needed help in your marriage, and what gave you that grace to seek the help, what help you got, and how it's going now. So share your story with us.
Sure. Jack and I had been separated and divorced for 4 years.
Oh, my.
And
you were far apart.
We were very, very far apart, and it was mainly my decisions to leave the marriage, the worst decisions I ever made to leave the marriage, convinced that there was no hope and divorce was the only way to end the pain. And so Jack saw a Retrouvaille brochure at our church and gave it to me after the Easter Vigil, asking if I would go to it, and I immediately agreed, even though it was new to the state of Oklahoma at that time, and I had no earthly idea what that program even was, but I still somehow sensed deep down that this is what we had been seeking, and this could be what could help get us back together.
You know, it's interesting. On the number of people that find Retrouvaille, it's just their last, they're ready to give up and they find a brochure. So who knows how helpful those brochures are. Wonderful.
Oh, they're definitely tools of evangelization, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on through the program, and during the weekend I knew that I would recommit in my marriage to Jack. We'd never had an annulment. We both asked for the papers but couldn't go through with completing them. And Retrouvaille gave us a bridge back to each other through the hurt and the pain, to trust and healing, and to really experience this sacramental joy of marriage, I think probably for the first time since we originally gotten married.
So when you first got married, you didn't experience, was it the grace or the spirituality? What unity wasn't there?
Well, I mean,
before?
obviously we did. It was, obviously, because it's a sacramental marriage. I'll try to be clear, just that I don't think I knew, well, I know I didn't know what I was doing as far as really living out my vows to the best that I could. I was very selfish at the time, and I did not put God and Jack first in my life, and that just started a downhill trend for me, making poor and poor decisions until I eventually decided to leave the marriage.
I had been previously married, so it was a subsequent marriage for me. I actually had an annulment from the first marriage. And so having a blended family took its toll on both of us, and I think that we were just kind of, swallowing around in the muck of trying to make a marriage work for us while we had a blended family as well. We ended up having kids as well between the two of us, but the blended family caused us problems, and I think we were just spending too much time trying to focus on trying to make a blended family a nuclear family, and it just doesn't work that way.
So how did Retrouvaille help you guys then? What did it show you that you didn't see before, where you couldn't get help on your own?
I think we related particularly to one of the couples on the weekend whose story was similar to ours, and if anything was even more complicated. And I could see that they were very happy and had worked really hard to put their marriage back together. And so even though I had a long road of self-growth and we had a long road of couple growth, that gave us hope, like, oh, you can survive an affair, which I had, and we can forgive each other. We can move past this. We can be together. It didn't have to be the death knell of our marriage. It gave us absolutely hope. I had not ever considered that a marriage that I had torn down as badly as ours could be repaired. I didn't know anybody who had put theirs together until we went through the program.
Retrouvaille had several, decisions that the program goes through of, making the decision to love your spouse even though at the time you may not feel loving. Things of teaching how to treat a spouse with respect, how to forgive one another, how to make the decision to love. So it was quite a learning experience when I realized that I didn't always have to feel a certain way. I can make decisions and the feelings of love and commitment through the process of acting lovingly.
They taught you how to decide to love no matter what you were feeling, rather than a culture that's based on feelings.
Absolutely, and I have to say that was like a bomb dropped. I had never heard that. I didn't realize I could decide. I could freely choose to love Jack. I just thought we were just all carried away on our feelings, whatever those happened to be, and we learned that we can make loving Christian mature decisions in spite of how we might temporarily feel, which might just be cranky or irritable in a moment, but I could decide to love Jack. And that was probably the biggest thing I remember from our weekend, because I started crying Saturday morning, and I don't think I stopped crying until, Tuesday, Jack?
Something like
of
that.
the first week. But they were healing tears, and so that's what started us back together. And it was not an even journey, recovery from an illness or pain, never is, but we at least knew that we were going to figure it out together, even if a particular day went badly or we reverted to old behaviors such as being disrespectful or selfish, at least speaking for myself. We could learn, we can continue on. We can keep on the path together, even if we stumble.
And so how long have you been married now since your weekend, Mary Carol?
99, so almost 16 years since we went through our... Did I do my math right, Jack?
Yeah, they're both.
Almost 16 years.
Okay.
Sorry, math is not my strong suit.
So you each offer your gifts, right? Well, that is amazing that with the couple's delivery and their presentations and sharing their stories on the Retrouvaille weekend, that you could finally have hope for your own marriage, that you could relate to that and say, yes, we could do that too. If they had a messier life than we did, we can get through this. That's amazing. That's great.
And they figured it out, yes, and so can we. And also it's all the program is also soundly rooted in Catholic Church teachings on marriage, and so there was also that truth that came out in a new way for me to hear.
Learning about marriage in a new way. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure that there are couples listening, or at least individuals listening, that can relate to that and will find hope and maybe choose to go on a Retrouvaille weekend as well. So thank you so much for calling in today.
So. Thank you.
Okay, God bless
you. Thank you, Colleen. God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.